Welcome class 8 to the last part of the second chapter, physical and chemical changes. We will talk about today the changes involving energy. So wherever there is a change, whether it's physical or a chemical, energy is involved. Okay, so we will talk about that today. So during a change, energy is generally evolved or absorbed in the form of heat and light, sound, or any other form. So the energy is either evolved or it is absorbed. Energy can be evolved or absorbed in the form of light, sound, or any other form. Okay. So energy change can take place when there is a physical change or a chemical change. Either physical change or chemical change takes place. Energy is either evolved or absorbed. So in physical changes, the energy change is a little bit lesser as compared to the changes in the energy or energy involved in the chemical change. So chemical change obviously needs more energy or absorbed in the form of heat, light, or any other form. It is either absorbed or given out in a chemical change. The energy given out or absorbed in a chemical change is more than the energy change in the physical change. So energy changes in a physical change. So far that we have learned that in a physical change, two types of processes occurs in a physical change. Either there is a change of state, normally in a physical change, either there is a change of state of matter or dissolution of substance in a liquid, or like for example the dissolution of salt in water, or sugar in water, or copper sulfate in water, or any other soluble substance in a liquid. Okay, so that means the dissolution of substance. So physical changes, two types of changes occur. One, basically the two types, one is the change of state of matter and the other is dissolution of matter. In both the changes it needs energy. Energy change takes place. So this is because in a change of state, from solid to liquid, obviously you have to heat a solid to change it into a liquid state, isn't it? So the solid absorbs heat energy and then converts, the heat converts the solid into liquid. If you want to change a liquid into gas, the liquid absorbs heat energy. So you are providing heat to the liquid and then it evaporates into a gaseous form. Now, reverse thing happens when you condense the gas into a liquid. Heat is absorbed, heat is lost. Okay, so heat is lost by the gas to convert itself into a liquid, and liquid, if you want to change it into a solid, if you want to freeze a liquid into a solid, the heat is given off. Okay, the heat is lost. Then that means there is a change in the energy. So either absorbed or given out. Similarly, in a change of liquid to solid, or the form gas to a liquid, the intermolecular force of attraction between the molecules has to be increased, so the intermolecular space decreases. So I've explained this part, the conversion of solid into liquid, in detail in the first chapter. I don't want to talk about it again. So we have already discussed in the last chapter in detail. So the absorption or evolution of heat energy is also observed when a substance is dissolved in a liquid. So if there is a let's say salt is dissolved in water, the energy is, evolution of heat energy is observed. So that means heat is produced when you dissolve solid into in a liquid. So the absorption or evolution of heat energy is observed when a substance is dissolved in water. Okay. So energy changes in a chemical change. Like for example, if you add water in calcium oxide or quicklime, what happens? Heat is evolved. It's called an exothermic reaction. Yes, During photosynthesis, what happens? The chlorophyll will absorb light energy. So light energy in the form of light is absorbed by the leaves, and then to convert water and carbon dioxide into glucose or the starch, and it stores it up. So there is absorption of energy. So it is known as photochemical energy. Okay, this is a photochemical. So we'll come to that later. Next is, in a chemical change, a substance change of substances, the molecules and atoms of the substances rearrange themselves to form new substances. And obviously, if the atoms are rearranged, it involves energy. So energy is released in some chemical change, while in others, energy is absorbed. So the chemical change in which energy is absorbed is called, as I've already told you, it is called endothermic reaction. And the reaction in which the heat is evolved, or the energy is evolved, heat is evolved, is known as exothermic reaction. So energy in the form of heat and light is released in the chemical changes which involve the burning of substance. So if you burn a candle, what happens? It produces not only heat but as well as light, isn't it? So it's an exothermic reaction in which burning is a reaction in which heat and light is released. Okay, so obviously in a chemical change there is more involvement of energy, either absorbed or given out, compared to the physical change. So in a chemical change, more energy is released or absorbed compared to the physical change. Okay, so let us talk about now the exercises, the objective questions from the textbook, page number 17. Exercises A. Tick the appropriate answer. That's what we will discuss now in the second half. Which of the following, question number 1, question number 1, which of the following is or are the characteristics of physical change? That means you have to spot the properties of physical change only. Its options given are temporary change, reversible, formation of a new substance, no new substances. So all these three options are the properties of physical change. Therefore the answer is D, all of the above. Which of the following is not a chemical change? The options are rusting of iron, cooking of food, digestion of food, and freezing of water. Obviously it is freezing of water. It is not a chemical change, it is a physical change. Like rusting of iron, cooking of food, digestion of food, these are all examples of chemical change. Question number 3 says, which of the following is a chemical change? Burning of magnesium, freezing of water, evaporation of water, and tearing of paper. Obviously the first option is the chemical change. Burning of magnesium ribbon is the chemical change. Question number 4 says, which of the following refers to the change of state from solid to liquid? Solid to liquid means it is melting. So the option is the correct option is C, melting. Question number 5, which form of energy is absorbed in photosynthesis? Obviously, as I told you, it is a photochemical reaction, so therefore light. Photo means light, so light energy is absorbed during photosynthesis. The option is D, light. Now we come to the question B, fill in the blanks. A dash change is a temporary and a reversible change. So temporary changes and reversible changes in which no new substance is formed is obviously a physical change. So the answer is physical change. Question number 2. A change in a chemical change, the original substance loses its own dash and properties. Obviously it is composition and properties. So answer is composition. Question number 3 in the fill in the blanks. A dash change is generally associated with the evolution or the absorption of energy. It has to be chemical change. So you cannot have a chemical reaction without any change in energy. So therefore a chemical change is a change generally involved which involves the absorption or evolution of heat energy or energy. So it is chemical change. Question number 4. When a chemical change takes place with the evolution of heat energy, the change is said to be exothermic. So exothermic reaction is a reaction in which heat is evolved, heat is given off. So the answer is exothermic. Question number 5, the last one, fill in the blanks. Water while freezing releases dash energy. Obviously it is heat energy. So it is because of the heat energy that there is evolution or absorption of heat that leads to the change in the physical state of matter. Okay. Now, write true and false. The question number 1 says, in a physical change, the chemical composition of the original substance is altered. It is false. So in a physical change, the chemical property of a substance remains unaltered. It does not change. Question number 2, melting of wax is a physical change. Obviously, yes, it is true. All changes of state are physical changes. Correct, it's true. The condensation refers to the change of state from liquid to gas. It is false. It is false statement. So therefore, condensation actually means it's a change of state of gas to liquid. Question number 5. A chemical change is permanent and irreversible. Absolutely true. It's a correct statement. And the last one, mass is created during a chemical change. False. So in a chemical change, mass can neither be created nor destroyed. Like for example, if you burn magnesium in the presence of oxygen, the reactance is equal to the product of the product in the chemical reaction, that is over here. In this case, it is burning of magnesium results to the formation of magnesium oxide. So if you measure the mass of magnesium oxide and magnesium and oxygen, the reactants, they are equal. So the law of conservation of mass says there is no alteration of mass, whether be it in the reactants or in the product. So the mass of the reactants is equal to the mass of the products by all means. Question number D now. We classify the following changes into physical and chemical change. So melting of wax, obviously melting, change of state. So whether be it melting of wax, melting of iron, melting of any substance like melting of candle or melting of wax, melting of iron, melting of ice, anything. Melting is a physical change. Next, magnetization of iron. Magnetization of iron means iron, a piece of iron, you change it into magnet, it is a physical change. There is no change chemically. So it's a physical change. Digestion of food, obviously it's a chemical change. Then burning of candle, burning anything, whether you burn paper, you burn candle, any fuel, it is a chemical change. Number 5, sublimation of iodine. Obviously sublimation is from the state of change from solid directly into gas or vapors. So therefore it is change of state is a physical change. Rusting of iron. Rusting of iron means the formation of iron oxide in the presence of rusting of iron means the change of iron into iron oxide in the presence of moisture and oxygen. So it is oxidation of iron. So it's a chemical change. So iron changes into iron oxide. So therefore rusting is obviously a chemical change. Stretching of rubber band. It's an irreversible change. So therefore no new substance is formed. So therefore it is a physical change, stretching of rubber band. And the last question for the day is burning of piece of magnesium. I told you, I've already told you that burning anything, whether be it magnesium, whether be it paper, whether be it fuel, whether be it wood, any substance you burn, it is a chemical change. Because it is an irreversible change and it's a permanent change and totally new substances are formed. So we come to the end of this session of the live class. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can always contact me. Thank you so much once again.